My wife said, "My sister is moving in. She can take our bedroom. You can sleep in the basement for a while." I froze. She said it like she was announcing dinner. Calm, final. No discussion. I asked, "What do you mean she can take our bedroom?" She sighed like I was being difficult. "Claire needs space. She just left her boyfriend. She can't afford rent. She's my sister. She'll take our room. I'll share with her until she's better. You'll be fine downstairs. You barely use the room anyway." I looked at her. This was my house, paid with my money. Mortgage in my name. I worked 2 jobs for 5 years to get it. I kept it running. I paid every bill. I fixed everything that broke. And now my wife wanted to move her sister in and send me to the basement. I asked, "And you didn't think to talk to me before deciding this?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be selfish. Family comes first. She's blood. She's my sister. You're being dramatic." I stayed quiet. She thought silence meant I was agreeing. She kissed my cheek and left to pick Claire up. The basement, cold, damp, no windows, just boxes and tools. That's where I was supposed to sleep while her sister lived like a queen upstairs. Something snapped in me that moment. Quiet. Cold. "Final," I said. "Okay," she smiled. Relieved. She thought I surrendered. While she was gone, I called a locksmith. Then a moving company. I packed her clothes, her makeup, her sister's bags she had already dropped off earlier that week. Everything. Into boxes. Into storage. Paid for 3 months in advance. By evening, the house was mine again. Empty. Silent. Peaceful. When she came back with Claire, they tried the door. The locks didn't turn. She called me, furious. "Why won't the key work?" I didn't answer. 5 minutes later, another call. "Stop playing games. Open the door. We're outside with bags." I stayed quiet. The calls didn't stop. Angry voicemails, screaming, threats. Finally, she texted, "If you don't open this door, our marriage is over." I replied, "Your things are in storage. Key and receipt taped to the mailbox. This is my house. You don't live here anymore." Silence for a while. Then chaos. Claire called me names. Said I was ruining a family. Said I was trash. Said I'd regret this. That night I sat on the couch in my own house. Quiet, alone, free. The next morning, the smear campaign began. She posted online. Said I abandoned her. Said I threw her out without warning. Said I was controlling. Said I was abusive. Friends messaged me. What happened? I sent them one screenshot. Her text, "Claire will take our bedroom. You can sleep in the basement." Most went silent. Some apologized. Others kept defending her. Then came the escalation. She showed up with Claire and 2 of her friends, banged on my door, screamed through the Ring camera, demanded to be let in. I spoke through the speaker. "Your things are in storage. You don't live here." "Don't come back," Claire yelled. "This isn't over. We'll ruin you." They tried to kick the door. My neighbors called the cops. When the cops came, she cried. Said I stole her home. I showed the officers my mortgage papers. My name, only my name. I showed them the texts. The storage receipt. The video of her demanding I move to the basement. The cops told them to leave. Warned them not to come back. That night, silence again. But I knew it wasn't the end. A week later, I got a call from HR at my job. Someone filed an anonymous complaint saying I was violent at home, that I abused my wife. They had to investigate. I almost lost my job. Luckily, I had proof. Screenshots, messages, videos. I showed everything. HR cleared me, but I knew who sent the complaint. She wasn't just angry. She wanted to destroy me, so I made a choice. No more defense. No more silence. I was going to end it completely. Quiet, precise, permanent. I started digging. Claire worked under the table at a boutique. No taxes, no papers. I sent an anonymous tip. Within a week, she lost the job. My wife worked at a hospital as a nurse. I had all the texts, the posts, the smear campaign. I compiled it into a neat file, sent it to her supervisor. Professional, cold. They suspended her pending review for unprofessional conduct. The smear campaign collapsed overnight. She deleted posts, Claire went private. Their friends went silent. Weeks passed. No calls, no knocks, no noise. One night I got one last email. From her, long, messy. Said I ruined her life. Said she had nothing left. Said she just wanted to talk. Said she loved me. I didn't reply. I archived it. I sat on my couch. My house. Quiet. Clean. Mine. And for the first time in months, I felt peace. But deep down, I knew this wasn't just about her. It was about me. About every time I stayed quiet when I should have spoken. About every time I let someone walk over me. That ended the night I heard the words, "You can sleep in the basement." 2 weeks later, she showed up again. Alone this time. She stood on the porch with a suitcase. She looked smaller. Not angry, tired. She knocked softly. "Please, can we talk?" I watched from the camera. I didn't answer. She sat on the steps, stayed there an hour, then left. The next day, I got a letter from her lawyer. She wanted half the house. Claimed we were married, so she had rights. Claimed she invested her time, her love, her contributions. I smiled reading it. The house was mine before her. Bought years before we even met. Paid with my money. Inherited savings from my father. Every paper had only my name. She had nothing. But she wanted half. I hired my own lawyer. Sent him the file. The texts. The videos. Her posts. Her threats. He laughed. "She doesn't have a case. We'll crush this." Weeks passed. The legal fight dragged on. She tried everything. Claimed she decorated, cleaned, cooked. Claimed she was entitled. But the judge saw the facts. The house was mine. Always mine. She had no legal claim. Case dismissed. The look on her face in court, disbelief, like the world had betrayed her. She muttered, "This isn't fair. Fair." I almost laughed. After court, she sent another text. "You've ruined me. I have nothing. Are you happy?" I didn't reply. I focused on myself. The house felt different now. Lighter. I renovated. Painted the walls. Replaced old furniture. Turned the basement into a gym. Every corner became mine again, but she wasn't done. Claire and her started posting again. Not about me directly, but vague posts. Some men pretend to be kind, but they're monsters inside. He may have the house, but I have the truth. I ignored them. For a while. Then a mutual friend messaged me. "They're telling people you cheated. That you hit her. That's why she left." Lies. Bold lies. I decided enough was enough. I gathered everything again. Their posts. Their texts. The court dismissal. Proof stacked neatly. This time I didn't send it to friends. I sent it to her mother. Her mother always believed her daughters were perfect. Always defended them. I sent everything. No commentary, just facts. The next day her mother called me, voice shaking. "I'm sorry. I didn't know. She didn't defend them anymore. She turned on them. They lost their last ally." The calls from her stopped. The posts slowed. Claire went silent online, but I wasn't celebrating. Revenge wasn't sweet. It was quiet, heavy, necessary. One night I sat outside on the porch, looked at the house, my house. I remembered the day I bought it. The pride, the hope, the idea of building a life with someone, and how close I came to losing it all because I stayed silent too long. Never again. Then, weeks later, another knock on the door. This time late, midnight. I looked at the camera. It was her. No suitcase. Just her. Crying. "Please, I have nowhere." Claire kicked me out. "I just need one night. Please." I sat there watching, my chest heavy, memories flashing. Good moments, bad moments, the betrayal, the basement line. I whispered to myself, "No." I didn't open. She stayed on the porch an hour, crying, then left. That was the last time I saw her. Months later, a friend told me she moved 2 states away, living with some guy she barely knew, working odd jobs, struggling. I felt nothing. No anger, no joy, just distance. And me? My life rebuilt, stronger, cleaner, free. Sometimes at night I still hear her voice in my head, the sentence that ended everything. "You can sleep in the basement," and I smile, because that line freed me. Months turned into a year. Life steadied. Work improved. Friends drifted back. They said I looked different. Stronger, more present. I kept the house spotless. Every room had purpose. No ghost of her remained. But memory lingered. Little things. A song on the radio. A mug in the cupboard she once used. For a moment I'd feel the sting. Then I'd breathe. Remind myself, she's gone. I started journaling. Every detail. The betrayal. The lies. The silence I once allowed. Writing turned the pain into lessons. Page after page I saw it clearly. I let her cross small lines until she reached the final one. And by then, it nearly consumed me. I promised myself, never again. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors with locks, and I keep the keys. One day I passed by her old job downtown. The company had replaced her. New faces on the posters. She was erased. Another time I heard from a friend she tried to come back to town. Briefly, people avoided her. Her lies had spread too far, then collapsed. She was alone. I didn't laugh. I didn't celebrate. I just nodded. Consequences don't need applause. The strangest part? I wasn't angry anymore. Anger burned out long ago. What remained was clarity. I realized something. She didn't destroy me. She revealed me. Showed me who I was when pressed. Who I was when betrayed. She thought she buried me in that basement. But she dug me out. I rebuilt. Stronger. Cleaner. Quieter. The house became my fortress. My sanctuary. Every repair I did myself. Every wall painted with my hands. Sweat replaced tears. Effort replaced rage. And in that stillness, I grew. One evening, I sat in the living room. Lights low, book in hand. A storm outside, rain against the windows. For the first time in years, I felt complete peace. The storm reminded me of that night. Her last knock. Her tears. Her pleas. And my silence. That silence saved me. Now, when people ask why I live alone, I tell them a simple truth. I value my space, my peace, my control. I don't need noise. I don't need chaos disguised as love. The house taught me. My wife taught me. Claire taught me. The betrayal taught me. And in the end, I won. Not by fighting louder, not by begging, but by closing a door and never opening it again. That was my revenge. Quiet, final, absolute. Now, when I sit on the porch at night, I sometimes whisper the words she once told me. "You can sleep in the basement." And then I laugh. Because I never did, and I never will.